So in our intent service, what was happening is that from our um, main activity, we were clicking on a button which was calling an intent, and that was going to the intent service class. The intent service thread was running on its own separate thread. Once it was destroyed, it was going back to like the main thread. So now we are able to send the data from the main activity to our other service. But what we want is we actually want the data back from the service back into the activity. So what we'll do is we'll use result receivers. Okay. So for result receiver, what we want is that first thing what we'll do is we'll actually have a handler. So we'll say private handler. Okay. So we'll just have a handler. This handler will basically, we'll use this handler later on. So you will see why and where we are using this handler. Okay. So we want in this thing, what we want is we actually want a result receiver. So we'll write a class. So we'll say private, and this is in main activity.java. So we'll say private class my result receiver extends result receiver. Okay. So once it does that, like it is complaining, and we'll go over here and we'll create the constructor matching the super. So we have our constructor. Now what we want is my result receiver. What will happen is that when the service class sends a message, we should do something to it. So we'll actually override the function. So we'll go to override methods, and there's a function called on receive result. So we'll use this one. On receive result is the function. What it will do is it'll, whenever the result comes back from the service, this function will be called. So let's actually create a tags for this. So private static private final string tag is equal to my result receiver dot class dot get name. Okay, and we'll write log statements. Thread dot current thread dot get name. I don't know why this is complaining. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, thread dot current name dot. So this is there. So if you see, what is happening is that it is returning a result code, and it is returning a bundle called result data. So what we'll do is, let's say our intent service sends a result code of 5. So we'll check if result code is equal to 5 and result data is not equal to null. So if both of these are, result code is equal to 5 and result data is not equal to null, in that case we want to get the data out of this result data. So we'll say final string result is equal to result data dot get string And let's say the key of this is result data. Okay, so we get this value. Now what we want to do is we want to actually let's do one thing. So in our main activity main, we had a checkbox and we had a button. Now we want to write this value somewhere, so we'll put a text view over here, and we'll go over here, and for that text view we will say that it is result, and we'll say text view result. Okay, let's go to main activity.java, and we will private text view text view result, and in our on create we will get the value. So txt view result is equal to text view, and we'll say find view by id r.id dot text view result. Okay, this sounds good. So what we want to do over here is that whatever result is there, we want to put it in the text view. So we'll say text view result dot set text and result. But the thing is, like, this function, this class will actually not be able to write it to the main thread. So that's why we need the help of a handler. So what we'll say is handler dot post new runner, new runnable, and this has a function called run. So inside this run, we can actually put this value, and we'll probably put a log statement too, just to see what is happening. And this is handler. Okay, so what will happen is that our intent service, once it does some things, we want it to return some value. Okay, so when we click our when we go to main activity, at that point when we actually have our intent, over here we'll say my result receiver is equal to new my result receiver null. Okay, and what we want to do is with intent we'll actually send our my receiver. So we'll say intent receiver, and we'll say my receiver. Okay, so what we are doing over here is we create an instance of this receiver, my result receiver, and then we send it with the intent. On the other side, what we'll do is we want to get that result receiver. So we'll say result receiver is equal to intent dot get parseable extra, and we will call receiver. So we are getting a receiver inside this. So after this receiver is done, then we want to send some value. So this receiver can send, so this receiver can actually send a bundle back. So what we'll do is we'll create a bundle, bundle output string, and we'll put this value, which is here, result data, and the counter ran for 10 times, so we'll say let's say 10. Okay, so we put the string in this bundle, and then we'll take this result receiver and we'll send the data, and we are sending with 5 and bundle. Okay, so the send function takes ID takes a result code, which we are saying is 5, and then it takes a bundle, which we are putting result data. Okay, so when we run this receiver will send this bundle to the main activity. The main activity will receive this bundle, get the string, and then a handler will put the data on that text view result. So let's run this. And when we start the service, we can see that it is sleeping, and once it is done sleeping, it'll send our result receiver back to the main thread, which says that counter is equal to 10, and our value gets updated and this gets destroyed. So we were successfully able to send data from an activity to a service, and from a service back to the activity using a result receiver. Thanks.